President Trump appointed Kevin Warsh to do one thing: cut interest rates. And in his very first move as the new Fed chairman, Warsh did pretty much the opposite. He held rates steady. He told the country the Fed has missed on inflation for 5 years, and he's going to fix that. And he put rate hikes back on the table for this year. So much for the lower rates everybody was promised. 2 Mondays ago, I told you I'd break down exactly what Chairman Warsh said and what it means for the back half of 2026. Today, I'm paying that off with the actual numbers. Here's what you're going to walk away with. First, what Warsh actually said versus what he was hired to do, because the gap between those two things is the whole story. Second, what higher for longer really means for your specific household, and I'll give you action steps for 3 different income situations. And third, the part almost nobody talks about, the hidden tax buried inside our national debt that costs you money whether rates go up or down. And one promise up front: I'm not going to try to predict the Fed for you because that's gambling. I'm going to show you how to position yourself so you come out fine either way. Let's start with what happened. On June 17th, Warsh ran his first Fed meeting as chairman, and the Fed held interest rates right where they were. That's the 4th time they've held this year. The last actual cut was back in December. Then he got in front of the cameras and made it clear he's worried about inflation, not the stock market. The market did not love it. The Dow dropped about 500 points that day. Bond yields jumped. The 2-year Treasury hit its highest level in over a year. And traders went from expecting cuts to pricing in better than a 90% chance of a rate hike by October. The dollar got stronger and gold fell. That's the market telling you it now believes the Fed is serious. Now, back in April, I told you about Warsh's $1 trillion plan, what he said he wanted to do before he ever had the job: shrink the Fed's balance sheet, run a tighter ship. A lot of people assumed that once he actually got the chair, he'd fall in line and give the president the cuts he wanted. Well, now we know what he's actually doing, and it lines up with exactly what I showed you in April. He's not falling in line. So why is he doing this? One word: inflation. We just got a report showing prices rose 4.2% over the past year, the highest reading in more than 3 years. And if you've been watching, you already know how we got here. Back in March, I broke down the Iran domino, how that conflict was going to ripple through oil and into everything you buy. That's exactly what happened. Oil spiked. Gas got more expensive, shipping got more expensive, and groceries followed. 2 weeks ago, I showed you inflation hitting that 3-year high. This is the same story, still playing out. Here's the good news and the catch. There's now a deal to end the war with Iran, and oil has come down off its highs. But, and this matters, oil is still up around 40% for the year, and the price of a lot of things that already went up isn't coming back down. There's a difference between prices rising slower and prices actually falling. So Warsh is stuck with a real trade-off. Cut rates to juice the economy and the stock market, and you risk pouring gas on inflation and weakening the dollar. Or hold the line, protect the dollar, and let the market grumble. He's chosen, at least for now, to protect the dollar. But here's the part almost nobody is talking about. And honestly, it's the part that costs you money no matter which way rates go. Our national debt just crossed $39 trillion. When you break that down per household, it's about $290,000. I know I've talked about this before, but the fastest growing expense for the federal government isn't the military, it isn't Social Security, and it isn't healthcare. It's actually the interest on that debt. This year, interest payments are on track to top $1 trillion, which is more than we spend on Medicare or Medicaid. Here's why that hits you. A big chunk of that debt is short-term, so it has to be refinanced over and over again. When rates stay high, every single time the government rolls that debt over, it pays more. And every dollar going to interest is a dollar not going to roads, schools, or services, or Honestly, it's a dollar the government borrows on top of what it already owes. That's the hidden tax. You don't get a bill from the IRS for it. You pay it through more expensive everything and a government with less room to help. So what do you actually do? Well, you don't try to predict. Instead, you position. Let me give you 3 plays based on where you are. If money's tight and you're living close to paycheck, your enemy right now is variable rate debt. Credit card rates aren't dropping anytime soon, so attack the highest rate balance first, even if it's just a little extra each month, and keep a small cash cushion on the side, because sticky gas and grocery prices aren't done with us yet. Don't reach for anything risky trying to catch up. That's how people get hurt in markets like this. If you're in the middle, with some savings and a little breathing room, this is your window to lock in. Savings accounts, CDs, and Treasury bills are still paying real interest, and that won't last forever. So, yeah, grab those yields while they're here. You'll want to stay away from initiating any new variable rate borrowing. And if you've got a mortgage and you've been waiting on a refinance, don't build your budget around one happening this year. Keep your emergency fund liquid and ready. And if you're higher income or you're investing seriously, the move is discipline, not prediction. Don't try to time when Warsh hikes or cuts. Stay diversified across both outcomes. Remember that higher rates put pressure on speculative, high-growth bets and reward-steady companies that actually make money. Rebalance on a schedule instead of on emotion, and keep a little dry powder so you're ready when opportunity shows up. The investor who wins here isn't the one who guesses right. It's the one who's positioned to be fine either way. That's the whole point. The people who try to predict the Fed are gambling. You don't have to. You just have to follow the money and set yourself up so that whether rates climb or fall, your plan still works. And quick reminder, this is educational content, not financial advice. Your situation is yours, so use this to think, not to copy. Next Monday, I'm going to break down something Warsh said about how he wants to measure inflation itself, because if he changes the yardstick, it changes everything about whether your rates go up or down later this year. I'll show you what's really going on there and what it means for your wallet, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Until next time, I've been Kevin with moneytreeandme, providing better security and ensuring better lives. Make it a great day.